Honestly, my success is my happiness. If I am happy where I'm at, if I'm content with what I have in life, I'm successful. And it's all the fruits of my labor. I'm as successful as I could have ever imagined.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into Business and Beyond. My name is Brian Braga, and I'm your host. And today we're joined by Priya Patel, your beauty bestie, who turned her side hustle of doing lashes to get through school into a full-blown beauty business. Priya has a salon in Toronto, and she is also a master with marketing. And if you're looking to transition your side hustle into a full career, then this episode's for you. I hope you enjoy. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Business and Beyond, the podcast where we highlight small local businesses and find out what makes them successful and how they function. Today, we are joined by Priya Patel, founder and owner of Spice Artistry. And Priya, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. How are you doing?
Of course, no problem. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you. For those who don't know you, please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for your business.
Hey, so my name is Priya. I'm the owner and founder of Spice Artistry, which is a Toronto-based lash extension and beauty salon. So I do everything from lash extensions, lash lifts, to brows. I also know how to do makeup. It's not something that I offer, but it's just like a passion of mine. I live, breathe, eat my salon. That's about it.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. And I understand you started lashing actually as a side hustle when you were in university, right?
Yeah, so in 2018, 2019, I started it as like a little side hustle. I've never gotten lashes done before. I had no idea what they were. I saw one of my friends was like training people on how to do it for $900. I was like, okay, looks like a good gig. People were really starting to get into lashes at that point. And I, as a uni kid, I'm like, oh my God, I need to go to the bars. So I need money.
Nice. Yeah.
So I was like, how can I work? I was already working at Mac as a makeup artist over there. So I was like, I need another gig to just like keep me going, pay for school, pay for rent, do whatever. And so I borrowed $500 from my mom and I went and took this course, all in on it. I was like, I'm going to make it work. I was doing free lashes for, I want to say about 4 to 5 months. I was working completely for free just to like build up a portfolio within like the university area. So being in like the London, Ontario area, going to Western, there was a big sorority life and a bunch of just like girls groups and getting all dolled up and everything was like a really big thing there. So it was really easy for me to get a bunch of girls in and be like, hey, doing free services, trying to build up a reputation. Let me work on you for free. And so I did that. And after that, started getting a little bit better at it. I was like, oh, this is actually like kind of good, like whatever. And so I was able to set a really small price list, like $60 for like my most extreme set. And it would still take me 3-4 hours to do these sets. And then after that, I just kept going and building up a bigger clientele to the point where like books were filled. I couldn't fit in any more appointments. So it was just go to school. If I have a break in between, I lash, go back to school, go to Mac, come back, lash. And that was just like my everyday.
That's awesome. Shout out to Priya's mom for that investment.
Yes,
it does not go unnoticed.
Back the $500. As soon as I made the $500, I handed it right back. I said, I'm up now. Here we go.
Nice. Return investment. Trust me, mom. I'm going to do great things.
Yes, I'm going to give it back to you. And honestly, if it wasn't for like my parents giving me like that little investment, they were like, okay, do whatever you want. Like, we'll see how far it goes. Cause I had a thing where I like used to get into like a bunch of little things and then I just like give up and I'm like, I'm bored. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. But like lashing and like beauty, they knew that that's like where like my passion lied a lot. And it was something that I had a lot of talent for. I just like never found my niche. And yeah, they took a leap on me and clearly it's worked out.
Nice. Yeah, that's amazing. And I feel like that's part of being a young adult is just like trying a bunch of different things, right?
And exactly. Let's see what sticks to you and if it does, go from there and see where it takes you.
Yeah. You mentioned you went to London for school. What's your university background there?
University background is actually in sociology and crim. So like vastly different from what I'm doing right now. While I was doing that, it is like I love law. I love everything about what I did in school. As I was going along there, I was like, okay, am I capable to go to law school? No.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Capable to do. So it was just like, it was a whole year of me being like, what, what do I want to do? Where's my head at? What do I want to do? Where am I going to go from here? I ended up graduating early. I was able to take on a lot of course loads, finish up a year early. And with that year, I was just like exploring, seeing what I could do, post grad options. Do I want to continue going to school? Do I want to do something in business? What's my route here? And that is actually when COVID hit. And so I was like, it shut everything down. The beauty industry was severely impacted during that. We couldn't take any clients. That was upwards to a year and a half of us just rotting away. Like there was
Yeah.
nothing we could do. There was nothing we could do. So I went back to school and I did integrated marketing and communications at
Mm.
Conestoga. And so I really like leaned in on the business aspect of things, and
Yeah.
I wanted to know where in times like this, it really makes you think like the physical realm can be taken away from you so fast. So like things that are online and things that you can do digitally have a lasting impact even throughout things like COVID and any sort of shutdown that could ever happen. So if you have a digital impact, you can do a lot more with your career. And so
Yeah.
that's when I shifted everything into digital marketing, and I focused in on that a lot through school. I learned a lot about how to make a personal brand, how to make businesses kind of grow digitally and have a mark on social media and all that stuff. So I was in the realm of marketing. I feel like I've lived so many different lives that,
Yeah.
like, what do you do? And I'm like, everything. I do everything.
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
I did.
Yeah, you sound very experienced. This is great.
Yeah, I did marketing for a little bit. I was working for a Botox and filler company doing
Nice.
like global marketing coordination for them. So it was a lot of launching products into the industry, and it's really different from what I was doing. Obviously, like medical aesthetics and medical devices is something I've never worked with, and it was a big role to take on by myself, but I learned so much from that, and I was able to apply a lot of that to my business now. So when that
Nice.
company ended up closing down and closing their doors, I was able to just put all my time, effort, money, everything back into my business. And it's just taken off from there. So I've been really, really lucky.
Nice. Yeah, and that's amazing to hear. Would you say during COVID is when you realized that your one side hustle of your lashing business grew into something that you were like, oh, this could be a full-time career for me? Is that where you really
Yeah.
had that moment of realization?
Yeah. During COVID was like, you really don't have control of anything. And I want to be the person that's in control. I want to be able to say when I work, when I don't work, when I can take vacations, and everything is dependent on myself and my own like aspirations and stuff. And so that was kind of when I went into the route of, okay, like I really need to hone in on my business. I need to learn a lot more, because as much as you think that you know about business, like just like running a side hustle, you can gain a
Yeah.
lot of knowledge, but you can always learn more. Like there's always more to learn on whatever aspect it is. And I really wanted to know more about that marketing aspect and how to make a name for yourself and a brand for yourself. And so that's the only reason why I went back to school. Or if anybody else knows me in my life, they know like school and me, not friends. We're
Yeah.
not friends. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
fair. Yeah.
from high school, I was not a school
Yeah.
person. Like it just wasn't for me. But going back to school and learning just for my business was like it was like a dedication thing, so I became good at it only because
Yeah.
it was something I'm so passionate about. But if it's like any other random thing like math, I have calculators. I don't need that.
Yeah. I know exactly. There's calculators online. Who needs it? Realistically, I don't recall ever using any of my calc courses or even our studio online. No, haven't touched it since I graduated.
See? You're never gonna
Yeah.
touch it.
Yeah. Did you go back to marketing then specifically for your business? Like your whole program at Conestoga, you were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hone in on my craft and that was dedicated for that?
Yeah, so I went in, I did a bunch of stuff on marketing. I was actually working as a social media manager and like working on creating brands for other lash artists during the time of COVID. So I would have my own personal brand, but I would also help other artists build their personal brand, market themselves on Instagram. And these were people in different regions all
Yeah.
across. So it was a really, really cool experience to see like how growth works on different social media platforms. And from there, I kind of just was like, yeah, I need to put all my eggs in one basket and just go for it. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what were some of the biggest challenges you faced once you honed in on Spice Artistry and you're like, yeah, I'm starting it up? What were those big challenges and how did you overcome them?
I definitely think my locations. I've been in, oh my God, how many different locations have I been in now? 4 different locations since I've started lashing. So I was in London, Ontario. I was in Cambridge. I was in Mississauga, and now I'm in Etobicoke slash Toronto. And so switching from all of these different locations, you obviously have a different market, a different target audience, all of that. What I would charge back in London in a university centric area is not what I would charge in Cambridge. But what I charge in Cambridge, looking at the market, is not what I would charge in Toronto. So seeing all that and the differentiation, and like also honing in like experience and stuff as your experience level gets higher and your time gets faster, your speed gets faster, your products become more expensive, you're investing a lot more in your business. That switch from location to location and keeping that same core clientele was a really difficult milestone. And it's still something that a lot of people in this industry go through. There will be people that move from studio to studio based on rent, whatever it is. Like it's hard to keep clients, especially when it's such a saturated business. There's so many of us. I know you open your phone and you see like 50 million people are lash techs. Like it's hard to keep that clientele in. But honestly, the only way I was able to overcome that and still have clients from like my day one days is building a relationship with them. I don't look at them as a client versus a service provider. I am a friend to them. I have made so many like close knit friends from just being their service provider. You become so close. You're there for 2 hours, laying down, eyes closed. This random stranger is like so close to your eyes, and you sit there and you talk and you learn a lot about these people's lives, and you become a part of them, and you see them go from graduating school to, oh my God, they're getting engaged, they're getting married, they're having kids. Like you really go through life with these people.
Yeah.
And so I think building that relationship and having those strong connections with all of my clients is what's kept me going through all those challenges of switching from place to place to place. I still have people back in Cambridge will message me and be like, I wish you were here. Like I'll make the trip out. Like though there have been people, and there still consistently are people that drive. They take the hour-long drive plus to come from Cambridge all the way to Toronto to come see me. And like it's such an honor to have people do something like that, because they not only do they like my work, yes, that's one thing, but they feel like sort of respect towards me and like me towards them, that like they support my business thus far. So
yeah,
it's really,
awesome.
really
nice. Yeah. See, it sounds like you have like a great relationship built with a lot of your customers there. I do have to ask, if you had to rank all 4 of your locations, favorite to least favorite, what do you got?
okay. I think London will be my top location, obviously, because that's where I started. I owe it all to the people that's like helped me out in London. I think second, I'll give it to Toronto, just because it's my new home. Like I was able to get my own studio space with 2 of my really, really good friends I share it with. Studio spaces are everything. It is like the happiest place on earth. We have such a cozy, chill vibe. It's like you come in there, we have snacks, we have drinks, we have good music. You want to listen to like a podcast, movies, TV shows, whatever you want. We have a cool little balcony space. People want to hang out and chill there. It's just a fun little, and it's like, literally, we make it feel like it's home. So it's literally a second home to me. So that'll have to be number 2. Number 3 would have to be Cambridge, obviously, because I got to see and service so many of like my high school friends and people I've known for so many years that saw me like from working in a cafe in Cambridge to like having my own business and them coming and supporting it. So Cambridge would be 3rd, and then Mississauga would probably have to be last, only because I don't know, Mississauga was just last. Yeah. It was like it was my in-between space. Mississauga was my in-between transition space where I was still learning a lot more about myself. I was going through a lot of things. I was overcoming a lot of business obstacles, and that was like a really big growth aspect to know that like I've done better and now I've moved on, and it's been awesome ever since.
Yeah, that's a great ranking system. And what's been your approach to growing your business in such a competitive market, such as Toronto?
Honestly, it's going with the trends and trying to come up with something new every day. It is really, really hard in the lash industry to become stagnant and to kind of not really lose yourself, but you just become like everyone else. You start doing the same things as everybody else, and you're just like, okay, well, if it's working for them, then it'll work for me. It's not how it works. Unfortunately, a lot of people have their niches. There's a lot of things that some people are really good at, and that'll become like the trend. And it's on you to make a new trend happen, a new thing happen, a new viral moment go on. Like, it sounds really like out of touch because you're just like, oh, I need to be viral. I need to do the next big thing. But you really just can't in this industry go on with what everyone else is doing. For 90% of the Toronto industry offers the exact same service list, the exact same service menu. It's just the way that they execute it. So they'll have different names for different sets. They'll come out with ebooks and they'll come out with trainings and they'll really hone in on something that they're really, really good at and then like blow it up. They'll be like, well, I have this training for it. I have this manual for it, this ebook, and they're selling it online and they're making TikToks about it. Like, oh, you want to learn how to do this? Well, you can buy my online book for $59 and like they'll sell 50 of them. And like, that's how they have their big moment. So focusing on like little niches, like getting really, really good at something and like blowing up is your way of like making yourself known in the lash industry. It is super niche. So
yeah.
I mean,
what would you say your niche is?
My niche right now has been my most popular, which is like my wet sets, we call it. We call it wet sets and lash lifts. It's for like, not my natural girls, but like the ones that are looking. My lash lifts are for my natural girls. I feel like we don't cater to a lot of them. They find that like, oh my God, everything with lashes is so bold, big. Like sometimes it's really scary. Like I agree. Yeah. Some of the stuff that goes on out there, it's terrifying. We have brooms on our eyes. Like we got to help the girls out. And so lash lifts is something that I've taken a lot of pride in learning a lot about. Currently learning how to do Korean lash lifts. So
nice.
Yeah, learning different things from different parts of the world, because to be honest, like lash extensions and stuff, that stuff really, really like has a chokehold in like Russia, in Asian countries. Like those people really know what they're doing and their techniques are like nobody else's. So taking training courses from people over there is something that I've really been wanting to focus on and offer these new types of services here. So I think my wet sets for like my girls that are like, I'm natural, but I still want to look like I have something going on. And then the lash lifts for those natural girls that don't want butterflies and brooms on their eyes and caterpillars going on. So that's like kind of my niche. And it's really been working out for me in the last few months. I've seen a huge turn of people just converting from going extremely full and like really, really like old school lashes to what's going on now and what I've been promoting on my page. So it's been really cool.
Nice. Yeah, and that's like what you're talking about in terms of trends as well, right? Because it's, I feel like in terms of beauty and trending too, it's like a lot of people are getting their fillers dissolved as well. And you look at people who are on reality television, it's like everything's changing.
Yeah, everyone's being like, I don't want this much filler. I don't want like this much work done and whatever it is. And there's nothing wrong with having any of those things done, whatever makes you feel good. But it's just times are evolving and people are being a lot more self-aware and being like, hey, I actually don't want to do this to my body. I don't want to look this type of way. And we should also be catering to those people. Like we can't just cater to the people that want to be that loud, big personality. Yeah, we have those services, but we also have services for those people that just want that natural lift. They still want to feel good. They still want to do something for themselves. So yeah, catering to those two different audiences is really important.
Sweet. Yeah, and I know you do eyebrow tinting as well and some facial waxing. How popular do you find those services, and how much do you like them in comparison to doing eyelashes?
It's honestly a really good add-on. I love having services that are add-on services, which take minimal time, 5-10 minutes max maybe, and they get a whole nother service, like an area service. And it's so quick, so easy. I love having those services. They're really good. And honestly, I actually really do like them when paired with lash extensions or even without. Say they're just doing like a full like facial wax and like brow tinting and whatever, it makes everything come together. Like you're doing one area, but you're skipping out on another. Like if you're just focusing on this area and the rest of the area is like untouched, untamed, like it kind of throws everything off. So if you're doing all the add-ons together, it really makes everything come together really nicely. So I love having all these add-on services, and I definitely plan on having a lot more in the future.
Nice. And how do you actually balance your creativity and your technical skill when you're working?
Gosh, I try to make every set a piece of art. I try to put all my creativity in every set, whatever it is. I like to get a backstory as to why people are getting what they're doing. I have a lot of people that are coming in, first timers that are like, I've never done this before. And I'm like, okay, well, why are you starting now? What's the reason for you to go now? Well, they'll be like, well, I'm going on vacation for the first time and I'm going with my best friend's bachelor party. Okay, cool. I want to try it out for the first time. There's a lot of people's like really important milestones in their life that we've been a part of their weddings, their proposals, like their graduations, prom, like these are all big events that really mean something to them, and they're going to have picture evidence of this for years to come, and they want to look and feel their best. So every piece of work of lashes that comes out, I want to make sure that it's the best product that I could ever do on them. So that creativity and that style, we do really in-depth and thorough consultations with every single client, what they like, what they don't like, what features on their face do they want to emphasize, what do they want to take away from, what don't they like about their current eye shape, their brow shape, whatever it is, like what can we do to make you feel better? And then usually I'll map it out. I map it out on the eyes. I'll have them open their eyes, put little markings on like their highest point, their brow bones. And it honestly comes to a science at some point. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I've even taken pictures off of like my iPad and something, and I've drawn out like what
My
needs
God.
to be
Yeah.
where. Yeah. So it gets really, really technical sometimes, especially when it's like weddings and brides. And obviously they're just like, it's such an important moment for them. So I'm like, okay, we're going to really, really craft this together. Like this is teamwork. Like, well, we know where to place everything. Everything is like mapped out to perfection. And then when it comes out, it's just incredible. So yeah, I take creativity and like the artistic side to it just as important as the technical skills. You want to make sure you're not having like a sticky, clumpy mess. You're making sure
Yeah.
that everything is really clean and isolated, and everything, one eye isn't bigger than the other, and you want to make sure everything is even. So yeah, it's an even balance. It is very, very difficult. It's not something that comes to like everyone. It takes a lot of practice. I think I'm at 6 years of experience where I've just been doing this every single day of my life. And yeah, it takes a lot of work, but the outcome is just so worth it.
Yeah. And it's insane how much of an expert you are in this field. Like you truly know what you're doing. You're clearly practicing a lot, and you have so much experience, and you build such good service relationships with your clients too, like that they really trust you for such big days of their lives. Like that's such an important piece of the business, right?
Yeah, it's been really awesome seeing and growing with all my clients, and just like going from one step to another. I've seen so many of my clients go from like high school days where I used to service them to now they're in completely different like aspects in their lives. So it's been really cool to see that growth journey, especially to have them trust me just as much. Like
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Yeah. And being such an expert in your field, what type of advice would you give to someone who's looking to start out in the beauty or the lash industry?
I would say don't stop evolving. I have done 6 years of experience. I have probably 12 certificates under my name, and I will
Nice.
continue to keep getting more. Like there isn't you I never consider myself an expert, because there will always be somebody that knows more in one aspect than the other. There's always going to
Yeah.
be someone that's better than you. Learn from them. Gain all of the knowledge that you possibly can. Don't think that just because you took one course and you did it for like 17 years that you're the master. Keep learning from people. There still are people that have started maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. They're blowing up on socials, Instagram, whatever. I have so much to learn from those people. Like, I've been in the industry. Yes, I have experience. I know my clientele. I know all of this. Keep learning, keep pushing yourself to do more, do bigger things. Like, you never want to become stagnant and become comfortable with where you are in this industry. It's very cutthroat. It's very, very like having an industry that's very, very female dominated is very difficult. And girls can get really, really catty. It can get very competitive, and it should never be looked at as competition. There will be a million people doing the exact same job as you, just as there are a million accountants in the world, a million doctors in the world, there's a million lawyers, there are a million lash techs. There always will be. There's going to be so many more that come out of this. What makes you so special? Keep working on yourself, keep pushing yourself to do better, and that's like the best piece of advice I can give you. Never look at people around you as competition. Look at them as people you can learn things from.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great piece of advice. When you were first getting into it yourself, did you have a mentor or anything, or were you learning everything on yourself, just off the certifications you had?
I had a lot of mentors. Yeah, I would look up to a lot of people that were doing really, really good in the industry. Back when I started, there wasn't anyone that was like viral or like the it person. There were a few
Yeah.
companies in Toronto that were really popping off, very female dominated, individual entrepreneurs that really did end up with like big names for themselves. There's like Lash God downtown Toronto, which is made a massive name for herself. She was a solo entrepreneur and has a big multi-million dollar business, probably billion-dollar business now. And she did it all by herself. And so I would always look at all these people and see what they're doing, and what they were doing was never stopping. They would add new things every day, seek out the newest trends, find what's going on the other side of the world, bring that to Canada, like really, really keep evolving. And so those were a lot of people that I looked up to and kept going. It's never an idea of, oh my God, this person's doing so much better than me. It's what can I do to be just like that?
Yeah, I
What can I
see.
do to put myself higher in these standards and become better every single day? So yeah, it's never been anything about competition. It never ever will be. I genuinely think everybody has place in this race, and everybody's in first place. Like there's no I'm better than you and you're better than me. It's everyone has to learn from everyone.
Yeah. As you're growing and expanding, would you ever be in a place where you're looking to take on an apprentice, or if someone approached you
Yeah,
looking to learn under you? Is that something you'd be open and
yeah.
interested
I've
in?
taken on, I think about 100 students I've had in the past
Wow.
that I've started. And there's always, when it comes to training, it's really interesting because you'll have 50% of your students that won't really do anything with that certification. It's not their thing. They didn't really get into the wave of it. It wasn't for them. It caused a lot of back pain, a lot of shoulder pain, a lot of
Mm,
wrist pain. It's not for everyone. It's not for the weak. And so I don't blame the people that couldn't handle it. And then you have 50% of your people that did do something with it. And whether that's a part-time job, whether that's something that took them through school, or some people
mm,
actually made it their career. I have a
yeah.
handful of students that actually made it their full-time career, taking a course with me, and now blushing is their number one income. Like that's putting food on the table, that's paying their bills, that's doing all of that. And so I would love to take on anyone that wants to learn in this industry, anyone that has questions, anyone that wants to sit in one day and just be like, can I just observe what you do? Or like has questions about business, running a business, going from a home-based studio to an actual salon space, like any questions like that. I love to like share the knowledge with everyone and kind of join their journey on wherever they
Yeah.
want to go. So yeah, I've loved teaching. It was like it's such a cool thing. It's so rewarding to see like people do something and have a career because of something you taught them. It's really, really cool. So
Nice.
yeah, I
Well,
would
nice.
take them on.
Any listeners, you heard it here first. Priya's DMs are open if you are looking to shadow her. She
They're
admitted it
wide.
here first.
Yeah, I said it
Wide
here first.
open.
My DMs are wide open. Anything that's business related, beauty related, any help that you ever need, social media marketing, whatever it is. I'm not going to consider myself like the social media god, but I mean, I have a degree under it. So, I mean, whatever I learned
Yeah.
from there, I can pass on to you guys for
Your
free.
degree says social media god on it.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine.
Anyone listening, actually go take a look at Priya's social media. She does a stellar job. I remember looking at your I don't know how to describe it for people who are listening. For video, you'll get it. But your one piece of media, I guess, where it's a video and it's like the face taken off and it's a set you did. No idea how you did that, but that was awesome. That's
Honestly,
so good.
AI is like, it's so scary, yet such an incredible tool for people that have online businesses that really depend on social media and on trends to really bring them clientele and stuff. A lot of our stuff is through social media. People will they'll see a post go viral, they'll see somebody shared a post. Like social media is really, really important for people in the beauty industry, and AI has made it such a fun thing, to be honest. Like you
Yeah.
can come up with like the craziest stuff. And so yeah, I that one video did get a lot of traction where it was pretty funny. Yeah, we've had a few of those.
Nice. That's awesome. And for client feedback in your relation with your clients, what's the most rewarding piece of feedback you've received?
I've the best genuine piece of feedback that I've had is at our new studio. Everyone that has come in has been like, "Oh my God, like I feel like I'm on a girls trip." They feel like they're
Nice.
at home, even if it's the first time they've met us or the 50th time they've come to us. They're like, this is like the best place to be. Everyone, we have 3 beds in there. We have 3 girls, myself and my 2 girls that work there, and we have the best time. Our clients are talking to each other with their eyes closed. They don't know who they are. They don't know what each other looks like, and we're all having a conversation. It's a community. People are so comfortable and so happy when they're there. Whether you want to fall into a deep, deep sleep, and like people fall into like REM sleep where they're like
Wow.
snoring and like
Yeah.
dreaming and like they don't know where they are when they wake up, or people are chatting up a storm. They're having the best times. We're laughing. We're giggling, we're crying. Like it's really is like the best place. So the best piece of advice is like, you guys always make it feel like I'm at home, and it doesn't matter who it is. And that's exactly how we want every single one of our clients to feel, is like you're not here having a strange conversation with a stranger. Like, I want you to feel as comfortable as possible, and I'll do everything in my power to do that.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an amazing piece of advice. Going back, like looking at the start of your journey where you just started as a side hustle, not sure what you're going to be doing with it. You know, you're just doing this to get through school. You know, you might go to law school. What would you tell yourself in that moment, starting off your entrepreneurial journey, growing to where you are today?
I would literally be like, nothing is set in stone.
Yeah.
Your path is not written for you. You never know where life is going to take you. Don't be so hard on yourself. We were literally like 19, 20 years old, 18 years old, being told, figure out what you want to do with the rest of your lives and figure it out now while you're paying thousands of dollars to be in school, and stick to it. It was such a big pressure to have on you, where it's like, I don't want to disappoint my parents. I don't want to disappoint my family. I don't want to be that one outlandish kid in the family that just goes array and doesn't do anything with school. Like, being from a South Asian heritage, it's a lot of doctors, engineers, lawyers, and
Mm,
those are your three options. And whatever else it is, well, that's not good enough. I was
yeah.
really, really lucky to have the support of my incredible parents, my siblings, like my best friend. Like, I've had so many people in my corner being like, you're so good at this. Why restrict yourself? Why bring yourself down and push yourself into a field that's not meant for you? Just because of social status and familial status, that doesn't matter. You do what you want to do. Take as much time as you need. You are so young. You have such a long life ahead of you, and you shouldn't force yourself into something that's not for you. School is important. School is very, very important. It's great to get educated. It's a great way to learn a lot about yourself and people around you and how you deal with in social settings, but it's not your be all end all. I've learned. You will not gain your entire life and existence and everything from school. Be easy on yourself. Like, there's so much more that life has to offer. You don't have to take the conventional path that everybody else does, where it's school, work, career. That's it. Go to school, have a side hobby, do like 50 different jobs. Who cares? Learn about yourself first and then pick what you love. Like, there's no path there.
Nice. Yeah, I honestly I couldn't agree more. Like, my degree in university was so vastly different from what I'm doing now. I did kinesiology, neuroscience, and when people ask, because they're like, "Oh, what did you go to school for?" I'm like, "Kinesiology," and they're like, "Oh, and you're in mortgages." I'm like, "Yeah, man. Like, I chose what I wanted to do when I was like 16 or 17 in high school. I didn't know.
Brains
Yeah, I didn't know
are gonna
about
sit
like
there.
yeah,
Exactly. It's I don't know. You don't know these things. You sit there and you learn about conventional career paths, where it's like, God, I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to be a doctor. And then you find out that people are like the doctors of like a certain type of blood type. And I'm like, well, that is so niche. Where did you
yeah,
find that job? Or it's
yeah,
like the most niche jobs. And I'm like, you needed to go through something in life for you to be like, that's what I want to do. And like,
yeah,
that's like any, it's like you go through things in life, you pick and choose. It could be you're working at Shoppers Drug Mart and you work in the beauty section and you're like, oh my God, I'm actually really good at this. I know a lot about this. Who knows? You could be like the next like top makeup artist in all of Ontario. Like, it's just, these things it's not something that'll come straight from school. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But like, you can't really restrict yourself in that aspect.
yeah, fully. And I'm a big believer of like make your own fate. You know, you're writing your own story, and it's up to you to go find what you want to do and make something out of it, right? I'm not big of, oh, I'm going to end up where I'm meant to be. So that really speaks to me as well, where it's like I'm going to go try as many different things until I see what I like. And for me in mortgages, like I really like the field I'm in right now as well. So it's like
That's awesome.
yeah, it's just niche down until you find something that's your niche, right?
Then you look back and you're like, it's really hard for me to imagine myself, like, say, for your instance, in neuroscience or kinesiology. It'd be really
Yeah.
hard to picture yourself in that now that you're in something that you love so much and you have such a passion for. Like, looking back on it now, if I look and I think about myself in like law or in law school, I'm just like, how would I have ever done that? How would I have ever done that when this is something that, like, this is my calling? This is something I'm so passionate about. Business, whether it's my salon business or any business in general, it's just like I'm so passionate about this that it's like, had I not taken the risk on myself, where would I have been? Like, maybe law school hadn't have worked out. I wouldn't have done that single training. Like,
Yeah.
I would have had nothing, you know? There would have
Yeah.
been nothing. So it's really cool how life like makes these opportunities for you to create your own career path. And I highly suggest take the leap. Don't hold yourself back because it seems unconventional or someone's gonna say something about it. Who cares? Live your life.
Yeah. I being on social media a lot now, I see a lot of quotes where it's like, okay, like it's super cringe until you're successful. And I feel like
Mhm.
it's at the point where you're so scared of being judged. You're like, oh, I'm gonna post this post and people are gonna look at it and they're gonna think I'm weird. Who cares, man? Just
Who
post it.
cares?
If you blow up, that's gonna be cool. People are gonna know who you are and they're gonna say that was a really cool
Worst
thing you
people
did.
on the internet, let me tell
Yeah.
you, there's worse people on the internet, there's worse people everywhere. Who cares if one person from your tiny little hometown thinks it's weird?
Yeah.
Don't care.
Shout out
Do not
Cambridge.
shout out Cambridge for real. Don't care. I'm gonna do what I need to do for my business, make myself known, make a brand for myself. At the end of the day, as much as it sounds stupid, being on social media and doing these weird, stupid things is our career. This is what puts food on our table, pays our bills, does whatever. And as cringe as it is for somebody else, maybe I think you being in accountant is cringe. You don't hear me saying it. Maybe I
Maybe
think
you
doing
were,
a
yeah.
like
Flip it and
you really
reverse it, yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna reverse it. Like it's nothing that you have to be ashamed of doing. You're doing it for yourself, and that's that.
Yeah, and that's awesome. What's been the most fulfilling part of owning your own business?
Honestly, the most fulfilling part is doing it on my own. I have, other than that initial $500 investment from my mom in 2018, I have not been dependent on a single person for anything. I've lived away from home since then. I haven't moved back home. Rent, bills, phone bills, the studio rent for my apartment, like everything is paid by me. I haven't taken any handouts. I haven't done anything. It is so fulfilling being in like this industry where it's like not everyone makes it, not everyone can really tough it out, and being a person that's been like, I don't care if I'm on my last dollar, I'm on my last cent, I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna do whatever I need to make this work. I took a lot of pride in saving a lot of my money, making sure I'm very responsible with what I'm doing and never wanting to be a burden on anyone. That is like my least thing where it's like I took this leap. I took this jump of like I want to do something very unconventional from anyone in my family that has done in the past and I'm going to make it work and I don't want to be that person that fails. That's the one thing that's always held me accountable for myself is my parents put this much trust in me. My family is so supportive. Don't let them down. Don't let them down and do your best as possible. Even in the states of like family where it's like not everyone will think this is a normal job. Like people ask me what I do, like extended family will be like, "Oh, what do you do as a job?" And I'm like, "Oh, like I'm a lash tech." They're like, "What the hell is that?" They're like, "Is that like a sort of doctor?" And I'm like, "No, like I have a salon and do beauty." And they're like, "Oh, so you're just like you just cut hair?" And I'm like, "No, I provide services. I run a business. Like
Yeah.
you really have to like talk it up, but it's nothing to talk up. Like I run a business, I'm an independent entrepreneur and I love what I do and that's just that. And seeing as though I have zero debts, zero nothing, I don't owe anything to anyone other than the people that were in my corner. The people that supported me, giving me the push being like you're doing good, keep doing it. Like that's all I've ever taken from anyone. And I look at that as like the biggest thing I could take out of all of this. Whether my business was to end tomorrow or in 50 years from now or never, like I did it on my own. I did it on my
Nice.
own and everything I've done has become the fruits of my labor and it's been so incredible to see.
Yeah, and you've really been working for where you're at too. Like you've been so consistent, literally since 2018, honing in on your craft, continually bettering yourself, like putting in the education. You've been putting in the work, and you've been doing it by
Yeah,
yourself. Kudos to you. This is girl
really,
bossing.
thank you. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
this
been
is this is girl bossing right now.
I've girl bossed a little too hard. I fear. I fear
Yeah,
I have girl bossed a little bit too hard. There are times where I'm just like, oh my God, like when will this all end? Like it is so much to run a household, run relationships, run family and balance everything. And like you're still the person that's responsible for all those things. You have to make sure like, okay, I'm bringing enough of an income. My brand is still in check. I have to make sure I'm dedicating enough time to friendships, relationships, and myself too. Like you have to take some time for yourself and breathe,
yeah.
obviously, but it's really really hard and I don't suggest girl bossing to the extreme for everyone. It is not for the weak. But if you can do it, try it out. It's kind of fun.
Nice. Yeah. Don't girl boss too close to the sun.
Exactly. Do not girl boss too close to the sun. You will get burned.
Exactly. How do you define success, like both personally and professionally? What's your definition?
Honestly, my success is my happiness. If I am happy where I'm at, if I'm content with what I have in life, I'm successful. There's not a single thing in this world. People will be like, money doesn't buy happiness. It's subjective. I mean, money could buy me a home. Money could buy me like a plane ticket to go see my family back home. Like, it's very, very subjective. But as long as I'm happy, I'm successful. Like, I'm very content with where I am in life. I have my studio. I have great work relationships. I have a beautiful relationship. I have my best friends. I have my incredible family. Like, I'm so happy that this, and it's all the fruits of my labor. I'm as successful as I could have ever imagined. And
Yeah.
like, it'll just keep getting better. The more I do, the more bigger my brand becomes. The more I can offer to my family and give back to my family and give back to my friends that have supported me. Like, that's my success. Being able to retire my parents one day, like, I hope, is my biggest goal, is to never have them work again. That's something that would like be the ultimate success to me. Or even just like sending them on a trip, or doing something like that for them is like my idea of success. Doing
Yeah.
something for my friends, and it's just like those types of things are what success is to me. Yes, I work so hard for my business. I'm not looking for my viral moment. I'm not looking to have 500,000 on Instagram. I'm not looking for any of that. I'm looking to be happy, and that's it.
Nice. Yeah, and that's such a good definition, actually. Just like, because you see so many people working to the bone and girl bossing a little too close to the sun, and they're exhausted all the time. They're not taking time to themselves, and if you're not happy, what are you doing it for? Like,
Exactly.
you
Like, I can
really.
have $1 million. Yeah, I can have $1 million and be working every single day, 24/7, and I could be miserable. Like, there's no point in that for me. I never look at life like that. If I'm happy, I'm content. I get to go on vacations whenever I want. I get to go see my family whenever I want. If I want to go out for dinner, blocking my time off, I'm going to go out for dinner. Like, I'm just as happy as I can make myself, and that's all that matters to me. I don't need a certain dollar amount. I don't need a certain level of like, God, I'm the number one rated salon. I don't need any of that. Like, I do what you need. That's enough for you. Like,
Yeah,
that's really it.
that's awesome. What do you have in store next for Spice Artistry? Do you have any plans to expand or new services? Would you have any employees going under you? What's your plan?
Gosh, I have so much planned for myself. Not only
Spill the
myself, but
tea.
like my business partners. I will. My business partners too, like Aaliyah and Alyssa are two of my business partners, and you'll see a lot of them on my page. We do a lot of things together, but yeah, we just got the studio space in September. It's been an incredible success. We've had so many people that love this space, and we just want to keep getting bigger. We want to expand in the next year. We want to try and go storefront. So having a storefront space would be really, really awesome. It's just like an open space. We want to have a ton more like services that we can offer. So like hair, nails, laser, anything we can. Like, we want to have a big collective space where we can have people that are like really good from all these aspects. I'm not going to go out at my big age now and learn how to become a laser technician.
Yeah,
I'm
fair.
sorry. It's not for me. I'm going to find somebody that's been really good, that's been their craft, their niche. Come into our collective space, show your stuff. Be the best at what you can. I'm going to give you a space to grow and have this opportunity to have a bunch of clients come in. Take them. Like, have this open space to work with other entrepreneurs, other businesses, and grow yourself. So yeah, we really want to open like a really big collective salon where we can have people just show their work and be as good as they can be. We would love to have employees. I can't wait to have like people that I can train to be like mini me's, honestly, and be like, do what I did, like take the unconventional path, become like the best you can, and ride it out. Like, it's really, really, really fun. It is. It's a lot of physical labor, yes, but it
Yeah,
is so much fun.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what's in store. We are also looking at product lines, so coming out with products that other lash techs can use and
Nice.
create different and fun artistic sets with. So a lot of stuff is on the way. We have a lot of things in our pipeline. But yeah, right now we're looking
Nice.
at products, future expansion, collective space, employees. Like, we're looking at all of that.
Your current business partners, like Aaliyah and Alyssa,
So, yeah.
do they do the same services you do, or do they offer something
Yeah,
different?
actually, we all three of us do the exact same services. So we
Nice.
offer all three of us offer lash extensions, and that's that whole thing I was telling you about, like not making things seem like it's competition. We're in this space together. Three of us run three individual businesses from it. Our lash beds are literally maybe like 5 inches apart from each other. Like
Yeah.
we're at an arm's reach of like Aaliyah and Alyssa on both of my sides. And there's zero competition. We sit there every single day. We're like, what can we offer next? What can we do next? We just invested in a lot of entertainment equipment, like cameras and mics and lights and all that stuff to really boost up our content. If one person's working and like I have a break in my time, like I'm going and taking content of them and like helping them have posts ready so they can set up. Like we aren't in that space where it's like, oh, like that's my competition, I don't help you. Like it's nothing like that. We offer the exact same services at a very, very similar cost, the exact same days. We all work the exact same
Yeah.
day. It's basically as if we're running a business together. However, we're separate entities. So yeah, it's really cool. And there's some things that's like not their niche. Like they don't like lash lifts at all. It's just not for them. That's something I love to do. So I have that on my service menu. They have like a certain style of lashes that I really don't like to do. They are really, really good at them and they like to do it. So if I have a client say that's like, oh, I like this style, and I'm like, okay, well, she's really good at that. I would suggest you go to her, and then they'd be like, okay, yeah, cool. We're always like, that's the best part is like we can pass people on to one another, and like there's no competition. There's no none of that. Like
Nice.
it's just
Yeah.
I love to know how you're working on this person's eyes versus like what I could have done, you know?
Yeah. Nice. That's a
Yeah.
great mentality to have. I find in any competition too, especially once you go into the space of entrepreneurial, like a lot of people say it's a dog eat dog. You got to really get ahead of the competition too. But it's like at the end of the day, there's everybody can eat, right? Like there's a lot of people in the world. There's a lot of people in Canada. Like there's no need for negativity, right?
There's so much food to be like eaten, honestly. Like you will never be the only person in your industry, especially in an area that's so like it's so dense like Toronto. Like there's within our space of like 10 kilometers, I want to say there's at least 30 lash shops at least.
Nice. Yeah.
And like that's so close by. Everyone does the exact same thing. You don't see everyone fighting each other. Like there's just no need. Everyone has their own clients. Everybody has their way of doing things. Their brand may be completely different from your brand, and like there's no competition. We're all chilling.
Yeah. Nice. Anyways, that is all the questions I have for you today. If someone wanted to find you online on your social media or book an appointment with you or slide into your DMs asking to work with you, where can we find you, Priya?
So on all platforms, it's at spice.artistry. And then if you guys want, you can visit my website, www.spiceartistry.com. All my booking info is there, everything that you need to know about services, anything you want to know about booking trainings, coming in and shadowing, anything like that. If there's high schoolers out there that need a placement and like you want to get like some co-op hours or something like that, me a call. I'll take a co-op student. I have no problem. Yeah, everything is open. Feel free. DMs are open. Give us a little follow, interact with us. Give me some ideas for content. If you guys want to see some fun AI content, let me know what can be done. But yeah, those are my socials.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Priya. If you guys liked this episode of Business and Beyond, please leave us a 5-star rating and a review on your podcast listening service of choice, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Awesome. Bye, guys.